Who's the hardest working kid in a classroom?
Generally, probably the Chinese or Indian kid.
If you're saying that because they're getting A's, you're wrong. The hardest working kid is the kid who's failing. Do you know how hard it is to sit in a classroom and not do well?
I mean, Mel, respectfully, I've gotten some D's and F's, and I let it happen.
Mel Robbins is one of the biggest self-help gurus on planet Earth. Her podcast is a smash hit. Her YouTube videos have been viewed over 1 billion times, and Oprah called her latest book, quote, by far one of the best self-help books I have ever read. I am the prime target for the daddy didn't hug me industrial complex, and I love me some Mel Robbins. She tells you exactly what to do in both short-form content and long-form content. And sometimes adults need that, including me. So I sat down with Mel for a big conversation about her latest book, the #1 New York Times bestseller, Let Them. We talked about setting boundaries, how I supposedly can't change my parents, and we also discussed the biggest, most shocking controversy of her career, her supposed love of everyone. Does that include Satan? You're about to find out.
Hurry right away, no delay, stop today. Make your daddy glad you have had such a lad.
You've been involved in controversy, and one of your biggest controversies involves 3 words.
Okay.
Do you know what those 3 words are?
I love you. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You end every podcast by saying, I love you.
Yes. As your friend, I wanted to be sure to tell you that I love you, I love you, that I love you, that I love you, that I love you.
It caused quite the hullabaloo on
Where?
the interweb. Well, you had to put out a statement. You clarified why you end your podcast with I love you.
Yes. That one sentence and those 3 words, I love you, has been a lightning rod. And for me, it's kind of mind-blowing that it's controversial.
What's going on here?
What do you mean what's going on here?
Well, what's going on here?
Why are people so freaked out about the words I love you? Why is, see, here's what I think is bananas.
Yes.
What is love?
I mean,
How do you define love? Am I putting you on the spot?
no.
already?
I mean, we can go there, but
Let's go there.
I think it is a deep understanding and yearning and acceptance of another person.
Okay.
Either somewhat romantically or not even romantically, but you care for them deeply in your heart.
Okay.
Yes.
I think it's consideration and admiration.
Okay.
I think when you admire something about somebody else,
Yeah.
and when you have them in mind, that's consideration. That's an act of love.
You are an incredibly popular author and podcast host around the world. Let's game theory this out. Let's say these people are listening to your podcast. Do you love them?
Yes.
Charlie Sheen, you love him?
Yes. And here's why. The reason why, when you say I love you,
I love you, Charlie Sheen.
When you say that,
Yes.
you're not endorsing something.
Sure.
If somebody is taking the time that they don't have,
Of course.
to listen to a podcast
Right.
whose entire mission is to help you do
Yes.
better and to help you be better in your life, whatever that means for you.
Right. Kim Jong-un, AirPods in.
Okay, so if you have that intention, right? In my definition of love, which is I admire something about
Joseph
you.
Kony.
I admire that you
Longtime
are
fugitive
taking
and rebel
time-
leader of the Lord's Resistance Army. We admire him that he is taking time to grow.
Yes. And I have you in mind. It doesn't mean I'm endorsing anything that you're doing.
The ghost of Osama bin Laden.
Like, I don't know what you want me to admit to.
From
here.
the other realm, AirPods in.
Yeah, well, look.
Satan.
This is what I say. Now, hold on a second.
AirPods Max on.
Hold on a second.
Listening to the Mel Robbins
Hold on a
podcast.
second. One of the reasons why.
I'm
I don't give a, like, I don't, you're not going to rattle me on this. Because here's the thing. I think
okay.
one of the reasons why most people that are like, what the hell is this for? You don't even know me.
Mm-hmm.
You're not hearing it enough in your life. You don't feel it.
Yeah.
You don't talk to yourself in a way where you admire and consider yourself. See, an act of love to me is holding the door for a stranger. An act of love to me is if you know your friend likes oat milk, then you get their coffee with oat milk and you don't even need to ask them because you know. That's admiring something about somebody's health and having them in mind.
Yeah.
It is the simplest thing in the world. And most of us do not experience a feeling of being considered or being admired for caring enough about yourself to want to do better.
Right.
And, I was inspired by this from Mr. Rogers, who I always felt like he was talking to me on TV growing up.
The friends who know you love you cheerfully. I do too.
But I remember it must have been like 15 years ago, I was at the Pennsylvania Women's Conference, okay? And there was a woman, and I'm not going to remember her name, but she was she had worked in the administration of like the Philadelphia school system.
Yes.
And she started to do this thing at the end of the day where she would remember the old, all right, everybody, announcement from the principal's office.
Sure,
and she would end the day with an announcement.
Yeah.
That said something to the effect of, and, I expect to see you all back here tomorrow ready to learn. And in case no one else tells you today, I want to tell you that I love you and I believe in you and your ability to learn. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And what she was talking about is that most of the kids that she was serving did not feel loved and were not told that they were loved, and were getting messaging from around society and around the neighborhood and from, the experiences of their lives that they weren't loved. And that made a huge impression on me. And it shifted how I thought about love from this romantic love or this endorsement of, I love everything that you're doing. No, I love you for holding the door. I love you for taking time to listen to this because I know you could do a lot of other things.
Right.
I love you because I know nobody else is telling you that. And I think one of the reasons why there's so much evil and harm and violence and horrible things is because of fear and hatred and because people do not feel loved. And so to me, I will always double down on people's capacity and capability to do better. I don't think that it's ever an issue of somebody's capability to be a better person. I think the single biggest thing that stands in people's way is discouragement and lack of hope. This sense that, why does it matter? Like, nobody cares about me. Nobody loves me. Like, it might work for you, might work for Mel Robbins, but this advice isn't going to work for me. So why bother? And if
this fast track to nihilism, essentially.
Well, if you can give somebody hope, because there's nothing but information out there.
Yes.
Like, if you don't know how to, first of all, I think everybody does know how to change your life for the better, and I can prove it to you. Could you make a list right now of 10 things that would make your life worse?
10 things would make my life worse?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Easily. Yeah,
So
sure.
of course you can make a list of 10 things that would make your life better.
Yeah.
Of course you can.
Yeah. I mean, the challenge would be doing them, but
Correct.
Yeah.
But why don't people do it? There's a number of complicated reasons
Sure.
that have to do with the way your brain is wired, that have to do with past conditioning and patterns and all that kind of stuff. But one of the biggest reasons is this sense that it doesn't matter anyway. This sense of discouragement. That it's too far gone, you're too far gone,
Right.
It's not going to work, I don't have time, like nobody believes in me, I don't believe in me, it's never worked out for me. And so what I am trying to do more than anything else in my work is not only simplify the complicated stuff so that it's accessible to all of us,
Right.
but add in a layer of encouragement and hope so that you'll actually do it.
Well, can I ask you this? Well, speaking of being loved, you are deeply loved by one of the most powerful people on planet Earth, Oprah.
I have over the years read probably thousands of books, and this is by far just one of the best self-help books I've ever read.
That's essentially an American coronation. How does that feel?
It was an out-of-body experience.
Yeah.
To have that happen because I grew up watching her.
Sure.
And I have always looked at her as a North Star of somebody who has tried very hard through her career to really empower people and to simplify information and to give lots of people a platform and a voice. And so it was... honestly, like I am surprised that I could continue to wear the underwear that I was wearing because I could not believe that it was happening. I almost lost it.
Sure.
I was.
You're saying you almost peed your pants?
Yes,
And that's
I was.
okay. I mean, that's a moment.
I was sitting there saying to myself, don't say anything, don't say anything, don't say anything, don't say anything, because it is one thing to meet somebody that you admire. It is a completely different experience when they admire you back.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I am grateful for is that I had always dreamt of a moment where I would meet Oprah and where I would be able to have a conversation with her about whatever it was that I was working on or in some way make an impact. But to meet her at a moment in time where we were more peers and where I wasn't needing anything, and to feel as though I could have a conversation with somebody at a level where we were just talking about this thing that I had written with my daughter and the impact that it was making, it was one of the highlights of my life because, again, to be admired.
Were you simultaneously being like, is this happening? Or were you just in the moment?
Yes, because what the success of the Let Them Theory book is so multidimensional.
Yeah.
And there is no doubt in my mind that there is something so much bigger than me going on.
Right.
That I feel surrounded by ancient wisdom, ancestors, people that have had very similar messages in the past.
Right.
That this is a modern version of very old truths about life.
Well, for our listeners,
Yes.
who are living underneath a rock, are fans of the show, but have not read your book.
Yeah, you don't need to read the book.
What is
I'm
the
going to
Let
tell
Them
you what
Theory?
the Let Them Theory is.
Sure.
It's super simple.
What is the Let Them Theory?
It's a simple truth about life. If you stop trying to control and change other people and let them be who they are, suddenly you will have so much more time and energy, peace and power in your life. The biggest source of stress in your life is other people. They're very annoying and frustrating. And they say things and do things that are hurtful and upsetting. And all of that is true. And how much space they occupy in your mind, how much stress they actually cause you is within your control.
Yes.
And so the Let Them Theory teaches you, if you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, and the number one thing you can't control in life is other people, what they say, what they do, what they believe, what they feel, when they change, if they change, you cannot control it. And any psychologist will tell you, the more you focus on things you can't control, the more stressed out and out of control you feel.
Yeah.
And modern life is like death by 1,000 cuts. From traffic to headlines to the crazy, horrifying things that are going on in the world that are already happening.
Yes.
Already happening.
Can I tell you why it resonated with me as a comedian?
Yes.
I mean, the moment I got into the book, I was like, I love this. Write people off. Love that. File, trash, empty trash. Are you sure? Yes. Emotional armbar to everyone.
Yep.
Remember the Heisman Trophy?
Yeah,
That's me with my heart. You are not
with your heart.
tackling
See,
me.
this is why you get pissed off when I say I
Yes.
love you. You're like, get away from me, Mel Robbins. You do not love me. This is why I'm going to make jokes about it and see if you take the bait. And I'm not taking the bait.
Well, I had a comedy pitch for you is you can still do the 3 words. You could say, someone loves you. It may not be me, but someone.
That's true. That's actually a great thing to say.
Yeah.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
It is not file delete. See, this is what people get wrong about the Let Them Theory.
It's not the HOV lane denialism because I like that.
No, you don't. That's not true. That's not true. You do not like that at all.
What do you mean it's not true? There's a part of you that's like, hey, you can't hurt me if I never believed in you in the first place.
Well, that's true. That's true. However, because you get to choose how much power you give to people. And the problem right now is that you're turning other people into a problem and they don't need to be. And when you get so worked up and stressed out about what people are doing and what they're saying and what's happening now, you miss one of the most important truths about life. Your power is not in managing them. Your power has always been and will forever be in managing you. There's only 3 things in life you can control. You can control what you think about something, you can control what you do or don't do, and you can control what you do with the emotions that rise and fall. That's it. That's all you got.
So is it a bit of a boundaries thing?
It's the best boundary in the world.
Okay.
And one of the reasons why this is so resonant is because the principles in the Let Them Theory have been true since the beginning of time. If you like Stoicism, when you say these 4 words, let them and let me, you are applying Stoicism in modern life. You are applying the serenity prayer in modern life. You're
Right.
applying Buddhism in modern life. You're applying detachment theory, radical acceptance. If you're a fan of Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, the entire thesis of the book about how your power isn't in what's happening out there, it's always in your response to it.
Right.
But if you allow other people's inconsiderate behavior, their expectations, their guilt, their 6 p.m. Zoom meetings at 6 o'clock on a Friday, if you allow the headlines to drain your time and drain your energy, you will have no time and energy for yourself. And you'll have no time and energy to be strategic about what you're going to do about what's happening.
I get what you're saying intellectually, but why do we as people get so frustrated by the fact that we can't control other people? Like in my mind, everything you're saying is 100% resonating.
Yep.
But in practice, people can put me in a tizzy.
Of course. And
But
by
why?
the way,
Why are we like this as grown adults? We know this.
well, there's a simple explanation. Your need to feel in control is hardwired as a survival mechanism. So if you really think about it, when you feel like you're in control of your day, you feel safe, you feel happy. And when you wake up, you want to know how work's going to go. You want to know how that conversation's going to go. You want to know what you're going to eat. You want to know. And that's never going to change. But here's the problem. The problem is that if you do something that pisses me off or frustrates me,
Yes.
now your behavior or your opinion or your emotional reaction just triggered my need
Right.
to feel in control. And so I then make a mistake. Instead of going, okay, well, I can't control you. I'm just going to let you do that and recognize that controlling you isn't where my power is. And I'm going to pull back and I'm going to say, okay, well, let me ask myself, how am I going to respond? Am I going to laugh? Am I going to get rattled? Am I going to get up and leave? Like, I have a lot of control here. If you don't say, let them and let me, what you do instead is you instinctively, I step across the line and now I try to manage you. Are you okay? Or what if we do this? Or, okay, I'll change my plans. Or I'll like bitch to somebody else about what you're doing. And now I'm all stressed out because your behavior's pissing me off. And then when I go to try to control you, you know what happens? Now that I'm going, I don't think you should eat that steak. I don't think you should go out tonight. You've already had a second beer. You're like, don't tell me what to do. So now I've bumped up to your need to control yourself.
You know what I've struggled with?
Tell me.
I totally get.
Is this a joke?
No. It's not a joke. I mean, the crazy part is that is the cosmic joke. I'm not even trying to be funny right now. Like, I get very triggered, not by people in the internet comment section, not by the headlines. I've gotten pretty good at understanding that is a hellscape ran by Satan himself. But it's really hard when I genuinely love someone and they won't change. I'll give you an example. My dad has diabetes.
Okay.
And for the life of me, he will not take his insulin.
Okay.
Or he'll forget it at home.
Yes.
What do? Do I just let him slowly die? I want him to listen to what I'm saying. And so my frustration comes from, you're not listening to me. You're not receiving what I'm saying. And my God, man, I'm one of the few people that actually loves you. Real talk. You don't know how mom feels about you. Actually, you do. Take your fucking insulin, bro.
Yeah.
And
And
that
what does
gets
he say? Don't tell me what to do. I don't feel like taking my insulin. What? I'm a grown ass man. You don't think I know? I'm supposed to take my insulin? What, am I a moron? You treat me like a moron?
Yeah, he'll quickly pivot into
Yes,
what's wrong
of
with
course.
me, or
Of course.
He'll talk about
Have you considered
gas
that he's
prices.
scared? Have you considered that he feels like, why bother? Like, this is going to get me anyway?
Mel, I'm gonna be honest. I've considered all possibilities. I think he's just losing his mind. And by the way, let's
be.
live in this channel because a lot of people feel this way
Yes.
with their parents and
Yes.
with their loved ones.
Yes.
So say your parent has the brain of an NFL quarterback with CTE.
Okay.
Essentially, their brain has turned into Joe Biden oatmeal mush.
Okay.
But you love them.
Of course.
And you do want things to change to extend the series that is life.
Of
I want
course.
grandma to be here longer.
Yes, of course.
But if I listen to the let them theory, I am going to be an active viewer with Spike Lee front row seats to your decline. And
That
that's
is not
heartbreaking for
true.
me.
So let's talk about what is really good about that.
Yes.
and why the let them theory is going to help you.
Okay.
And some fundamental truths about all human beings that once you accept this as truth, it'll pivot your approach. Because here's the thing. Let them does not mean you're allowing anything to happen. Let them is you forcing yourself to recognize what's happening. Big difference. So there's nothing passive about going, well, just let them. Let them is the first part because you're in a tension battle with your dad.
Yeah.
Is it working?
No.
Okay. So if it's not working, then anybody who's a rational, smart person would say, okay, if me worrying or me having an opinion about this or me pressuring my dad to change isn't working, because here's the thing, pressuring someone else to change doesn't motivate people to change. It creates resistance to them changing. So you're part of the problem because you're being judgy, even though the judgment is coming from a loving place.
Yeah.
You're being judgy and opinionated because you're scared. And
Yeah.
underneath the
Yeah, I
fear,
am scared.
you deeply love your dad.
Yeah.
And, when we look at people in our lives who are letting themselves go, who are succumbing to addiction, who can't get off the couch and get motivated to find a job, we look at them and we're like, you fucking idiot. Like, it's so obvious what you need to do. And we never take a step back and go, well, maybe there's something deeper going on. Because they clearly know what they could do, but there's something deeper going on in either their psychology or a sense that it's not going to help anyway.
Yeah.
It's too far gone. And so they're stuck in tension with themselves. And then we come along and we're like, well, you should really study if you want better grades. They're like, no shit, Sherlock. You think I'm a moron now? And so here's what I want you to understand. And for anybody that's listening or watching right now,
Yeah.
for the person that you're frustrated with, I want you to understand, number one, they know. They know what they need to do. And all of the love-based judgment and pressure and opinions and support is backfiring.
Okay.
So that's number one. Number two, you have to accept the truth that people only change when they're ready to change for themselves. They will not change for you. They will not change for their grandkids. They will not change for anybody but themselves. And number three, and this is a truth, and there's a lot of research from this amazing expert, Dr. K. He goes by the Healthy Gamer online. He's a Harvard-trained psychiatrist that specializes in gaming addiction. And he says, we don't understand our own motivational circuitry. I certainly didn't until he explained this to me. He basically said, our brains are wired to move toward what feels easy. That's why we sit on the couch. That's why we scroll on our phone, even though we don't want to spend 6 hours a day on our phone. That's why we avoid working on a resume. That's why your dad avoids doing what he needs to do, whether it's walking after dinner to lower, his
insulin, sure.
or taking the
Sugar
insulin
levels.
or wearing the monitor or doing whatever he needs to do. We default to what's easy in the moment. In order to change, a human being has to be willing to do the thing that's hard now. And the only way that you're willing to do the thing that's hard now is that when staying the same becomes harder than the thing that you're avoiding. When we were researching the Let Them Theory book, we talked to 57 world-renowned experts. There's an 18-page bibliography. There's resources in the back of the book that are free for you to download. And, one of the things that became very, very, very clear as we were researching all of this is that one of the experts in addiction and sobriety said people only get sober when being drunk is harder than doing the work you've been scared to do.
Where the pain is bigger than...
Yes.
It's so exponentially bigger than what the work
and
is.
Human beings, like if you've ever had this experience with your life, most people don't wake up motivated and then feel great going. Most people get so frustrated with themselves that there's this negative organizing pain moment where you're like, that's it. I've just had it with myself. I got to do something.
Yeah.
And you're not doing it because your wife is bitching at you. You do it because you've been bitching at yourself inside and you finally get so sick of where you're at that you're like, that's it. I'm going to the gym. That's it. I've got to do something here.
Can we stay with
But I'm going to teach you how to be more effective.
Yeah,
with
there
that.
was a thread that you had there where you're telling me I feel sad, and I think you're right.
Yeah.
My heart is breaking,
Yes.
and I want to ask you for your advice. Is how do I process and mourn
Yes.
the idea that someone I love fundamentally won't change? So I can write off that friend from high school. I can write off that old college roommate. I can write off that guy
Yeah.
that I shared a job with for 4 years in my 20s.
Yep.
But it is so heartbreaking to
Yeah.
write off someone
Yeah.
that you have known your entire life
Yes.
and loved your entire
Yes.
life unconditionally. So
You're
how do
not
I
writing him off.
reconcile
You're
that
not writing him
paradox?
off. You're giving your father the dignity of his own experience.
I don't know if it's dignity. I'll give you an example. So my mother, she's a hoarder.
Okay.
She still has VHS cassette tapes stacked up
Okay.
in our guest room.
Okay.
And I go, Mom, you got to get rid of Dunston Checks In on VHS, which
Okay.
is a film that I watched when I was a child. It's about a monkey that checks into a hotel and then causes a rampage. We don't have a VHS player. My children won't watch VHS. I loved that movie in 1993, but I'm 39 years old. We got to move on. And I tried to throw away Dunston Checks In.
It's the worst thing you could do.
You're right. And it was nuclear fucking
Of course.
war.
Because she's transferred her own emotional attachment to physical objects. And so it's not a cassette tape. It represents something else. Like when somebody has a hoarding issue, and you should talk to a licensed professional about it, because there's a very close connection between depression and OCD
Yes.
and hoarding. And so you're dealing with a mental health issue that is manifesting itself in things. And here's the thing about hoarding. This is so much more common than people believe. This is not that your mom's some sort of freak. Your mom is transferring pain and emotional stuckness to things. And it's a way in keeping things that she feels in control.
Yes, but I tried to articulate this to her, and I said, Mom, you're being buried by these Windows 95 CD-ROM
Does she
drives.
want to change?
I think so. I think she thinks she does.
Here's
But
how
I know
you know.
she's not.
Here's how you know.
Yes.
Watch her behavior, not what she says.
Well-
no, so people tell you who they are through their behavior,
Because
not
I check
their
her, but then
words.
she checks me. So Mel, check this out. So I go, Mom, we don't need to have Windows XP.
Okay, so here's
And
what I
then
want
she'll
to tell
be
you.
like,
Hold on a
Hasan, you
second.
got to call more.
Hasan,
and
here-
both are right. Both people are right. I don't call enough.
But she's holding on to this stuff because if you don't call enough, the things remind her of you. And I know that's a harsh thing, but here's what I want you to understand.
The Windows XP CD-ROM drive is reminding her of me.
It might remind her of a time when you were using it. It might remind her of a time when you lived at home. It might remind her of a time when you were younger.
Got it.
And she is not able, and again, I am making
Parmesan
up,
cheese packets that have expired in 1998.
Yeah, but do you hear how judgmental you are?
Yes,
So if I actually throw out the Parmesan cheese packets,
Yes, that may kill us.
no, let me tell you, I now have to admit to you and me that I'm wrong and bad and that you're right. If she holds on to it, she stays in control because your mother has a control right now. You're and it's not driving her crazy, it's driving you crazy.
Dunston Checks In on VHS.
But no,
driving
you
me
keep
crazy.
making jokes, but this is true.
Yeah. Yes. I mean,
She's not bothered by this, by the way. This is just how she lives her life. You're the one who's bothered by this. And that's why you have to say, I need to let her. I need to let her live her life and let me take a step back and take a more loving and accepting approach that this is who my mother is right now. And because the judgment and the jokes are not working, it's actually making her dig in. And here's what you're not understanding. There's no space for her to really admit out loud, this actually isn't working and it's kind of starting to scare me. Because she's already under the mom, what's going on? And this is unbelievable. And your dad might be saying things too. And so he might not be doing his insulin because he feels like he doesn't know what to do with his partner.
Yeah.
And so it's all a manifestation
Yeah.
of people trying to control their own environment and their own experience in life. And when you feel judged, you just double down.
Let's do a few examples of how you can help me navigate the blue and red wires of let them, and then we can transition
Great.
to let me.
Okay, great. Because there is no let them without let me.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
But here's the problem.
Okay.
Is I instantly turn into Indian Larry David because I am in a series of scenes of chaos. Say
You don't
I have
have to.
But I have a partner.
Okay.
I have a partner, and hypothetically, let's say this partner walks out of the shower every single day, soaking wet.
Okay.
Just dripping,
Okay.
splish splashing all over. Beautiful tile.
Yeah.
I'll take the train. There'll be an asshole
Yep.
listening to TikToks on full volume.
Yeah, I hate that. I fucking hate that. Yes.
Thank you, Mel.
Yes.
Should I just let these people do all this bullshit?
Well, it depends. Because you're in control. You're in control of your response. And
Okay.
your response is going to change every single day based on what's going on in your life.
Okay.
Based on how activated you are emotionally, based on what you actually think is worth your time and worth your energy.
Yes.
Like I used to, let's take the example of the train, okay? It drives me insane. Insane when you are on a plane or in a public space and some idiot is sitting there just blasting the FaceTime or as if we're all like just thrilled in this public space to be hearing your dumbass watching this stuff.
Yes.
Used to drive me incredibly insane. I would get all agitated, then huff and puff, and I'd try to signal, and the scowls and that stuff. The person over there
Yes.
is not even remotely bothered by me. They're just living their life. They're just doing their thing. I get to choose
Right.
how much that person upsets me. Now, here's what I want you to consider. Your time and your energy is your single most valuable commodity in life.
Yeah.
If you value it, why would you allow some idiot that does not understand basic decency
Right.
and how to be respectful and conscientious in a public space of everybody else?
Yeah.
Why would you allow somebody like that to drain your most precious resource?
Sure.
So here's what you get to choose. On some days, you might calmly act like the parent in a society that needs parenting and get up and walk over and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Do you mind wearing a pair of headphones or just turn it down? I'm having a hard time on the phone call over here. Sorry to interrupt." And 9 times out of 10, most people are like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't realize it was so loud." Every once in a while, you might get a dickhead or like have some sort of whatever, and they're just, okay, noted. And everybody else is like, "Oh, noted." Other days that might happen, and you might go, "Okay," and you take out your own headphones. Other days you might get up and move to a different seat. It depends on how you want to protect your time and your energy.
Right.
Let's talk about your partner. Your partner, you have this thing about...
Well, I'm the bad partner. I walk out of the shower wet every time.
Okay, great. So what your partner should do, instead of yelling at you and making you wrong,
Yes.
which when your partner yells at you and makes you wrong, so my husband and I we've had this issue around cardboard boxes.
Okay.
Well, everybody orders all this stuff,
Yes.
Cardboard boxes come to your house.
Yes.
And my husband is the kind of person that wants you to open the box and then flatten it immediately and then take it to the place where recycling is, which where we live is the garage.
Sure.
And he likes it stacked a certain way because whatever. I am not the kind of person that opens the box and then takes the stuff out and then flattens the box. I tend to open the box and then leave it. And then I make like a nice Tetris pyramid thing next to the door to the garage.
Love that.
Because I'm going to get to it later.
Yeah.
Because you and I both have ADHD. And so
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
like, okay, why would I complete the task when I can do the thing in front of me? And since the box flattening is
And
not
by the way,
important-
I'm on your side because messes are horizontal, not vertical.
Correct.
That's a stack. That's
yes,
a pile.
that's a stack. Like I'm
Yeah.
actually organizing it.
Yeah. So respectfully,
Okay,
I think your
yeah.
husband needs to sit this
Chris
one
is out of line. I know.
Yeah.
He's a death doula and leads men's retreats and is a Buddhist, but he's out of line on this one.
Totally wrong.
Right? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm right in this one.
Yes.
So, but the thing is like your partner, he has said to me, "Look, could you just flatten the boxes? Because it's creating a headache."
And
he
you told him no, right?
well, I said, "Look, can't I just do it later?"
Yes.
And so I at first I was like, "Okay," and then of course I don't do it
Sure.
because it's not important to me.
Right.
And I don't really want to change. And I don't really want to change for him. And even though I'm like, okay, I keep forgetting to do it. It wasn't until he sat me down and said, You know, I've asked you a couple times about this, and you clearly don't care and you don't respect me. And let me tell you why this matters to me. It matters to me because every time I see the stack of boxes next to the door,
Yes.
I feel like you think I'm the maid here. I feel like you don't value my time, and so you're leaving that for me to do. And here's what happened. When he explained how my behavior impacted him at a deeper level, it triggered in me, because of my values, I don't want Chris to feel that way.
Yeah.
I didn't think the boxes were that big of a deal. The mistake in that moment is like what you don't want to do in that moment when somebody takes the time, like you might take the time with your dad to say, you know, first of all, I want to apologize, Dad, because I can't even imagine how annoying it must be to have me, somebody without diabetes, telling you what to do.
Sure.
And I can't imagine how frustrating it must be that I'm laying all this on you and you've got a lot of other things going on. You're an adult. And so I just want to apologize to you. And here's what I've never done. I've never actually asked you how you feel about how things are going with your health. And what's interesting when you apologize and then you ask an open-ended question, how do you feel about your health, Dad, and how things are going? Even if your dad's like, it's fine. What you just did by apologizing for the pressure and the judgment and like the barrage is, and then asking an open-ended question, how you feel about that? And they're like, you've just stirred up the friction that they already feel. Mm-hmm. Even if they don't speak, well, I'm actually really frustrated with myself. I'm really overwhelmed with Mom's hoarding. And like, it's just making everything feel unmanageable right now.
Yeah.
You know, thanks for asking. Like, I don't know what to do because everything feels like it's, and then the headlines and then the news is on and the world feels like it's going. And you're stirring up this internal friction because people aren't idiots. I choose to believe everybody wants to thrive. I choose to believe that people do well when they can.
So say I go, I'm sorry that I'm annoying. How
No,
can I
not
help
annoying.
you?
I'm sorry I've been judging you.
I'm sorry that I've been judging you.
Yes.
And how can I help you?
No, not how can I help you. It's how do you feel about your hoarding, Mom? How do you feel about your current health and the way that your diabetes is going, Dad? None of us ever stop and actually ask somebody that open-ended question about, like, you know, I remember I had a situation with our son who had massive issues in school. We didn't find out till he was in 4th grade that he had severe dyslexia, dysgraphia, ADHD, all kinds of stuff. And we ended up being able to get him into a school in Boston for kids that have language-based learning styles. And it was just profoundly helpful. And then he gets into high school, and I would hear him upstairs playing Fortnite or whatever he was playing. You hear it on the floor, and what the hell is he? He's up there alone. What is going on? And
I mean, he's having the time of his life.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I would march upstairs, and I would throw open. You got to get off those video games. It's 10 o'clock at night. Have you done your? You know, you're not doing well in school. Have you done your? Like he's an idiot. Like he doesn't know that. Of course he knows that playing video games is not going to help him at school. Of course he knows that he's not doing well at school and he should probably be studying. And then me coming in, I just pile on judgment, right? Because I know better and I'm telling him what to do. And I don't realize that I'm making him double down. Because here's what we don't consider. Who's the hardest working kid in a classroom?
Generally, probably the Chinese or Indian kid.
If you're saying that because they're getting A's, you're wrong. The hardest working kid is the kid who's failing. Do you know how hard it is to sit in a classroom and not do well?
I mean, Mel, respectfully, I've gotten some D's and F's, and I let it happen.
Well, letting it happen is one thing, but sitting and knowing that you're not doing what you could be doing to your potential and that everybody around looks at you like a loser, even though you got,
Right.
you know, the hoodie up and
you're mentally, there's something happening upstairs. You are trying to engage with the material.
And
I take
you
your point.
actually say to yourself all day long that you're stupid and that you don't care. And the truth is you do care. And if you knew how to do well, you would be doing well. The hardest working friend that you have on their health is the person who's overweight and not taking care of their health. Do you know how hard it is to drag more weight around and to know that you're slowly giving up on yourself? And so start with the presumption that people want to thrive and they either don't know how or they're so discouraged and beaten down and overwhelmed by life that they don't think even the little things are going to make a difference. And so when you ask your dad that open-ended question, you actually open up the truth for him. And this is super important. This is super important because you're not coming from judgment, you're coming from acceptance. Hey, Dad, going to apologize. Hey, Mom, I'm going to apologize. Hey, partner, I'm going to apologize for hounding you about the shower. It must be super annoying. I don't know why I'm the police around this thing. I haven't even asked you. Like, how are you feeling about, like, all the water everywhere and how I'm doing and what's this like for you? We don't ever do that. And when you open that up, something magical happens when it comes to motivation. And now this is what I call the ABC loop. A is apologize for judging people and coming at people and thinking you know better, and then ask how you feeling about it. With our son, I'm like, dude, I'm really sorry. I've been so judgy. Like, I haven't even asked you, how do you feel about school? That's all he said.
So what did you do with that?
Let him. Because now what I'm bringing to the surface is his own tension. Of course he wants to do well. And then all you say is something like, well, you know, if there's ever anything I can do, you just let me know. You know, have you ever thought about what you might want to do about it? That's another thing. Hey, Dad, have you thought about what you might want to do about it? Oh, okay. Well, if I would imagine you have good ideas about it. And the reason why you ask, have you ever thought about it? All they do is think about it and then talk themselves out of it. I guarantee with your mom, she sees the stacks of VHSs. She probably thinks, okay, I should probably do something. And then she's like, I can't. And so when you ask them, you know, I think you probably have some ideas about this. I don't know. Even if they don't say it, you're organizing that friction, because what have we also learned? A person only changes when they're ready to change for themselves.
So
and you have to
I-
have a level of pain. And the friction internally, I know I'm giving up on myself. I know there's something better. That is what somebody needs. And then you have to back off.
This is a bit of a generational shift because you and I grew up, let's call them in houses that maybe used strictness as a way to get, let's call them results. Willingly or unwillingly.
Yep.
You're going to make your bed.
Yes.
You're going to get straight A's.
Yes.
You're going to get to class on time.
Yes. Which is why you're now doing it to your parents.
Totally.
Yeah.
But the let them theory is kind of a different way to approach them. Take us through let them and then let me.
Great. Because, you know, a lot of people love the let them part, because when your friends go out for lunch without you and then you see that and you're like hurt and you're like, well, let them. You have this superiority, like, well, I'm better than that anyway. There's like this judginess to it. Well, let my mom hoard.
Yes.
You're judging, and that helps you detach emotionally. But then what's going to happen is if all you ever say is, well, let my mom hoard and let my dude do this and let my friends do that and let
You become a sociopath.
Yeah, you basically, well, what
a
also
nihilistic
happens,
sociopath.
you also feel lonely. And you also start to feel so disconnected from people because you're like, well, you know, I'm going to let my siblings never reach out. Like, I'm sick of reaching out. And you start to sit with your loneliness. And then you're like, well, now what? And that's where the let me part comes in. Let me is where you take your power back and you align what you do next with your values. And you also stop yourself from being emotional and reactive, and you get strategic. Let me decide what I'm going to think about this. Let me decide what I'm going to do or not do. And so in your case, what I'm going to not do is judge. What I am going to do is I'm going to follow the research and the steps that influence people. See, we're so busy controlling and trying to change people through force and judgment.
Yes.
We don't realize the power of influence. That most people actually change when you give them space to not feel judged. Like, you want to learn how to love people, learn how to let people be who they are and who they're not. Learn how to love people as they are.
You genuinely believe people change, that they don't just die stubborn.
Oh, hold on a second. This is the research. This isn't my theory. If you look at all the research from Dr. Tara Swart over at King's College London, who studies the science of influence, it's incredible. I'll give you an like, you have to think it's your idea. Have you ever noticed that when you stop hounding somebody, all of a sudden, next thing you know, they're going to the gym and they're working on their resume and they're getting a different job? Because you've given them the space of feeling accepted as they are. So all the pressure from you is gone.
Yes.
And now they have to deal with the pressure of themselves.
Mel, we only have 30 minutes left, but I'm only halfway through. What should we do?
Whatever you want, let them. This is your show.
So we can cook?
You can do whatever you want. What does cook mean?
We can go a little bit longer. We can get the.
I don't care what we do. Keep
oh,
going.
great. Okay, great. Okay.
I don't know what, like, I'm just in this with you. And so let me get to the other part, because this is really, I'm going to show you what you have to do. You have to A, ask open-ended questions and apologize. B, back the hell off and let them. Let them. Because you've stirred this friction. And if there's now no judgment,
Yes.
the person doesn't have anything to push against except for themselves.
Right.
And because we know that every human being has to get to a point where they're at is more painful than just doing the thing, throwing out the VHS thing, asking for a little bit of help, taking the insulin. And C, if you is literally model the change you want to see.
Yes.
Just model it. If you want your dad to take good care of himself, just model taking good care of you. If you see him doing anything, hey, Dad, I noticed you're wearing your monitor. That's pretty cool. Like, how's that going?
Right. Positive encouragement.
Positive encouragement.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example of why this works. And this is all from, all this research around how human beings change. A, they only change when they're ready to change for themselves. B, they have to get annoyed with themselves enough and to think it's their idea. And the only way that's going to happen is if you create this acceptance. See, people think let them's about cutting people out. Let them actually brings you closer to people you care about, because you're forcing yourself to love people as they are instead of judging them. And so it takes usually 3 to 6 months of backing off and just being positive and asking open-ended questions and congratulating small things, not like, oh, see, you went for the run. No, just like, hey, cool. Dad, you look great. How you're doing. Here's the example. Let's say that you and I are working in the same office.
Yes.
And we're, on
Pounding
our laptops, pounding away. And every day at lunch, you get up, close your laptop, you go out for a walk.
Okay.
That's it. I watch you do this day in and day out. And when you come back, hey, Mel, you look refreshed. You have a smile on your face. Yeah, maybe once or twice. You ask me, I'm like, oh, I can't. About a month will go by, and I'll all of a sudden look up one day, and I'll look out the window, and I'll be like, it's so nice. I think I'm going to go for a walk. Now, here's the interesting part. I don't credit you. I think it was my idea.
Right.
But it was your influence without judgment or pressure that actually created the conditions.
Got it.
For me to feel drawn to do that thing, because this is marketing, by the way.
Yeah, but this is going to, what this is requiring is a long lead, which is requiring a lot of patience.
Yes.
Something
Well, the
that I don't
time's
have.
going to pass
Regardless.
regardless. And so you get to choose whether you're going to keep doing what you're doing, which isn't working and it's stressing you out, or you're going to look at the fundamental principles that we're talking about that we all know are true. And that's the other reason why the let them theory is spread, is because I'm just reminding you of what you know to be true.
Sure.
And I'm giving you a tool to use, especially in those moments where you're stressed out or pissed off or frustrated or sad. Like I feel that too. And the thing that's also very difficult when our parents get older is they become more of who they are. And what they need is more acceptance rather than judgment, because I don't think anybody gets older and knows that you're in the last chapter of your life and they're all excited about it. There's a lot of fear there and a lot of things that people don't talk about.
Right.
And it expresses itself in kind of ways that people don't realize. And I think the more that you can let them have the dignity of their experience and love them through it and create the conditions based on the research, not mine, the research of these world-renowned experts that are all cited in this book.
Yes.
And you use the approaches that work based on research versus allowing your very valid emotions to dictate it in the moment, you will be more effective and loving in your relationships.
Can I just say this, Mel? I think that research in regards to humanity's desire to change and a human being's desire to change, I think that's in reference to women. I think every heterosexual dad probably goes on his dying deathbed. The last thought that he has was, I was fucking right.
No, not true. That's not true.
I think so.
I don't think that's true. I think the research on this is very clear. Whether you look at Dr. Carl Pillemer at Cornell, who has done the Legacy Project, which all he does is talk to 80 and 90-year-olds, Or you look at the Harvard study of adult development, the largest longitudinal study. Dr. Robert Waldinger at Harvard is the fourth director of that study now.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing. When people get to the end of their life, you want to be surrounded by people that love you and that you love. And you want to look back, and most people don't want to look back and be like, I made $1 billion. They want to look back and say, I was a good friend.
Right.
I was a good boss. I used the time that I had in a way that made me proud of myself. I allowed myself to be myself.
Sure.
That's what you want. You know, there's an interesting guy that you should talk to named Dr. Todd Rose that I just interviewed for my podcast. He was a professor at the Harvard School of Education, and now he runs the largest, he has the largest private data set on what people actually want out of life and how they define success. And it's a nonpartisan think tank that he runs. And so there's this very interesting thing that I think is important to talk about, which is, especially in the world today. He, for example, has asked people in this study to privately define what success means by taking 60 different things that you could say success is.
Sure.
And you have to rank them in order. So you don't have to go, it's this or that. You have to go, oh, the top all the way 1 to 60. And out of however many hundreds of thousands of people, all different races and ages and political affiliations and religions, of the top 10 things that people say would make for a successful life, when they fill this out privately, 8 of them are exactly the same. And the overwhelming majority of people, when they privately say, what does success mean to me? They say, spending my life doing something that is meaningful to me, that makes a difference with other people. Now, here's where it gets interesting. When you ask the same person to now take the same list of 60 factors and say, okay, now I want you to rank what you think other people think success means. We go money and fame and all this other stuff. And so we live under this illusion that other people want something different than what you want for your family and for yourself. Now, we may disagree policy-wise on how to get there, but I choose to believe that your dad wants the same things you want, that your mom wants the same things that you want, that your partner does, that your friends do. And yet we live under this delusion that people are somehow fundamentally different than you are. And that's why we judge.
Well, this episode's coming out during the holiday season. Thanksgiving is the time where everyone needs Mel Robbins' guidance.
Okay.
Okay. Help me navigate
Yes.
this Thanksgiving Day
Okay.
rabbit hole. I'll give you the situation
Okay.
and then help me direct emotional traffic.
Okay.
Because I basically asked all of the people here at the office, hey, what's going to happen during Thanksgiving? And we combined kind of what everyone is going through.
Awesome.
This is the Thanksgiving dinner stress test. We're at the Thanksgiving dinner table.
Yeah.
Dad is at the head of the table. Dad loves Donald Trump. The president has inevitably done something crazy that day, that week, dare I say that hour. And he's popping off on Truth Social, and Dad is loving it. Simultaneously, your brother is coming out. You are accepting of your brother because it is your brother, and we're blood. And it is so deep, and I love you for who you are.
Yep.
But Dad believes God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. And you're like, Dad, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yep.
Simultaneously, your dad wants something from you. He just recently remarried a 21-year-old Hungarian woman.
Okay.
And he wants you to accept your Hungarian stepmom. You can't do that because you're twice her age.
Okay.
But before we start dinner, he wants to hold a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. You then look over to your sister who wants to talk, but she hasn't taken her meds in 3 months and she wants to talk about gut health. Help me navigate emotional traffic here.
Okay. Well, the first thing you should ask yourself is, what do you actually value and why?
I mean, the first thing is I'm asking myself, how did I get here and why do I value these lunatics?
Okay. Well, that's an important consideration because it's very important that you understand who you are,
Yes.
what you value, and why. And for a lot of us, even though we are related to people that are very challenging, whether it's their opinions or whether it's their behavior or
Yes.
whether it's the person that they're with, we still value family and we still see the value in trying to maintain a relationship with our family.
Yes.
I am a person like that. I really, for me personally, I value having relationships with my family. And look, I think everybody has challenging members in their family. Oftentimes, I feel like the reason why we have families is it teaches you how to love people you hate sometimes. And so the question becomes, are you going because you feel
That's
you
the next
have
book.
to?
That's the next book.
What do you mean?
How to Deal with Family. You got to love people you hate.
You do.
What a brilliant title.
Well, you do. And so here's the thing I want you to understand. Why are you going?
Because I love them. I love them.
Okay, but see,
Yes.
this gets back to the original joke.
Yeah.
What, you love Satan? You love that? See, two things can be true at once.
Yes.
You can love somebody and think they're a fucking moron.
Oh my God.
You can love somebody and be diabolically opposed to the fact that they have been spoon-fed all of these lies and crap from the 5% over here and the 5% over here that are screaming at each other. I feel like we live in a moment in society where our politics and our media are like abusive parents screaming at each other, and we're all like the kids under the covers upstairs like, just make it stop.
Yes.
And so, first of all, you're going because you recognize that these people have always been like this. They've always been in your life. They've always had opinions that have been offensive. And the only way that you are going to ever actually get through to your dad or be able to have a conversation
Yes.
is to practice having it. And that even though you disagree with him,
Yes.
that there are certain times where it's important to you to be together.
Yes.
You get to decide whether you're driving there bracing.
Yes.
For me, I don't do that anymore. You want to know why? Because I say, let them. I know what's going to happen.
so
So
a-
why am I bracing?
So a lot of people will be listening to this on Thanksgiving weekend.
Yep.
And for sure,
Yep.
many siblings have decided to go to the fork in the road. Some siblings are go, I am not coming home for Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And the other sibling is saying, I will go home and I will have a friendly conversation with my 21-year-old stepmother, Svetlana.
Yes. Why are you doing that? See, if you're doing it for them, you're going to resent them. If you're doing it for you because it matters to you, that's you holding on to the power. And I don't want you to walk in and ever think they're changing, because people only change when they're ready to change for
Right.
themselves.
Right.
I want you to walk in expecting it to be a freak show, because then you're not going to be bothered by it. And I want you to remind yourself, you can leave the table anytime you want. You can change the topic anytime you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can say, hey, Dad, we disagree on that. How about we talk about something else? I'd really rather not hear about that. I came all this way. Not making him wrong. We're going to disagree on things. Or you can also say, you know what? I think it's time that I lean in and I start to understand my dad's frame of reference. Because us distancing ourselves from one another, even when people are offensive, us shutting off conversation because we disagree with somebody's opinion, even if it's disgusting and discriminatory. When you think about the psychology of influence, I want you to picture people in your life
Yes.
and their brain. Your dad's brain, if that's the profile, just imagine his brain is full of red liquid. Let's just use that, okay?
I don't know what it's full of.
It's full. It's sludge, whatever. Okay?
WhatsApp news articles.
Okay, it's just like all in. And keep in mind, your dad doesn't know that a quarter of the accounts online are bots. Your dad doesn't understand the implications of Citizens United and how it has eroded our democracy and the spread of misinformation. Your dad is just being fed all of this, and he's taking it in.
Sure.
And the more you judge, the more he defends. The only way that you actually get somebody to change their mind is when they think they're changing it for themselves. And the only way somebody is open, and this is very challenging to do, is if you want to go into the kind of psychological combat around this.
Let's scrap at the dinner table.
Okay, no, you're not going to. Because here's what you have to do first. If you imagine somebody's brain, whether it's blue or purple or red or what, filled with their ideas.
Yes.
If it's already full, they have no capacity for new ideas. They have to pour it out first. They have to have a conversation with you. And we're so busy judging each other that we don't do the thing that's harder, which is to come from this notion of frame of reference. What is your frame of why do you believe that, Dad? What is it about what he's doing? And why do you feel that way about immigration? What is it specific? And you don't do it, well, that's wrong. Interesting. Could you explain more about that? Interesting. You know what's happening is you're like, let them. Oh my God, he's really scary. Why the fuck does he think? He's like literally mind control. I don't even know who this is. You're thinking all this. You're like, let them. I want you to imagine all of that's getting poured out, which what? Creates capacity.
To let me.
Correct.
Infiltrate.
Well, it's not even infiltrate. It's that I agree with this feeling that you have. And I think we just kind of disagree about the way to solve that issue.
That's, you know,
do you see what I'm saying?
I totally see what you're saying.
And if we can't do that with our own family members, we will never be able to do this as a society.
We're running out of time. So I want to get to things quickly through a game that we called Life Coach Lightning Round. I'm going to ask you a series of very intense questions that are very serious, but you're going to give me life coach advice very quickly.
Done.
Okay, here we go. How do I stop overthinking?
Take the action. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, do it.
How do I stop doom scrolling?
Put your fucking phone down.
What's one habit I should start today?
You should not sleep with your phone.
What's a bad piece of advice that too many people follow?
Calm down.
If you got the chance to put up a billboard that millions of people would see, what would you write on it?
Let them.
Mine would be watch Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. It's a great fucking movie.
Was that 3?
No.
Okay.
No, that was number 4.
Okay.
Ghost
Because
Protocol
I like
4.
the dress that Rebecca wore in number 3, the yellow one with
that was
the
a great
purple
dress.
sash.
Yeah, with the purple sash. Yeah, that was great. But Ghost Protocol is the Burj Khalifa one where he has the hood and he's...
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Everyone should see it. And if you've already seen it, watch it again. It holds up on multiple viewings.
Agreed.
Can you forgive someone and still be angry?
No, because forgiving somebody requires you to stop wishing things were different.
What do you mean?
You can't forgive someone if you're still holding on to that bargaining that you do, if only. In order to truly forgive, you have to stop wishing things were different and accept them as they are. And I wouldn't recommend that you hold on to anger. I would recommend that you hold on to the boundary because, you know, people make mistakes. And if people learn from their mistakes and they take responsibility for them, then they're showing you that they're changing. But if somebody apologizes for something and you forgive them by basically saying, okay, I'm going to stop wishing things were different and I'm going to give you my trust again. If they don't learn from the mistake, then you can still, forgive them, but you take your trust back and you say, okay, I'm going to let you make the mistake again. But the second time you do it, it's not a mistake, it's a pattern.
Got it. How do I know if I need professional help or just a nap?
You need professional help.
Great. This is big for a lot of our young listeners. When is it okay to quit? Or even adults?
That's a great question.
Yeah, when is it okay to quit?
I think you have to choose life is always going to be hard and life is always going to be unfair. And you have to decide what kind of hard in life do you want? Because continuing and not quitting is hard. Continuing to believe in yourself and work on something and know that, okay, if I'm going to have to stick with this for 10 years, it's going to be really hard. But I personally think it is harder to give up on something and then to live with the regret knowing that you quit. And I think you can ask yourself, am I willing to continue doing this for 10 years? Or have I learned what I needed to learn and I'm no longer willing to put in the work? If you're no longer willing to put in the work, quit. If you're no longer excited by why you're doing something, learn and pivot. That's it.
Am I going to be okay?
I think you already are.
Okay. I don't feel that way. Mel, this was fantastic. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. And I want to tell Satan, I love you. And I believe in you.
Nicely done.
Hurry right away, no delay, stop the day. Make your daddy glad you have had